Pinball adventure games are nothing new, but it's a genre we don't get to see all that often. Games like Pinball Quest or Kirby's Pinball Land. But there's a new one called Momonga Pinball Adventure, now out on the PlayStation 4. But does this game feel as good as racking up a high score? Or is it worse than tilting the machine? Momonga Pinball Adventures is a short, colorful, and cute pinball adventure game. You have your ball that is a Momonga, an animal that's similar to like a flying squirrel, and you have to bat them all around the areas, break down targets, destroy rocks, open up gates, solve some puzzles, and even defeat some bosses. The game is broken up into 10 or so levels and vary with different quests in each, with main levels also featuring multiple different goals. Once you complete one level one way and get the first of the medals, you can replay it with a different quest in mind, such as destroying all the blocks on the screen, or trying to beat it with only using each flipper a certain amount of times. After you're able to complete a stage, you will have your score racked up and get a star rating of 1 to 3. The game does have a small plot that revolves around Momongas being kidnapped, and this is the lone one that's still left, and he gets to meet some characters like a wise panda and a mole rat that will help him along his journey. The game's quick-paced, with each level broken up into multiple different areas, with your goal trying to not only achieve the goal, but making sure you don't end up missing the Momonga too many times, or else you'll end up losing health. Every time you end up missing, you'll lose a heart, and once all your hearts are gone, you will have to restart the level from the beginning. There are no checkpoints during the level, so once you make a certain distance, if you end up dying, you'll have to start back at the beginning of the stage. This game is by no means a realistic pinball game. If you're looking for something to quench that pinball thirst, you may want to look elsewhere. This is just a fun little adventure game that uses pinball as its aesthetic and its way to control the character. Weight and angles aren't necessarily always the best, but it does work for the most part. Not to say that this game isn't a decently playing pinball game, it's just not going to be for those die-hard pinball enthusiasts. Along with the main quest levels, there are a couple other ones to kind of break things up. There's an arena once you complete the main game, as well as a pachinko-style machine that you'll get to play as well, trying to, of course, get as many points as possible. The game doesn't feature any kind of multiplayer or online capabilities other than a leaderboard, if that's something that you'd be interested in. Well, the game does what it does pretty well, and there were some fun moments, such as the puzzle solving in a temple-like setting where you had to kind of hit a ball back and forth in order to get a gear to make a platform rise, and some tricky rock formations that I had to kind of maneuver around. And the game had some bright moments, there's no doubt, but it is still pretty shallow and short overall. Even with the extra goals per level, it probably won't take you very long in order to get to the end. In fact, it took me less than an hour to complete everything. From the technical side of things, the game ran pretty good, didn't run into any slowdown or crashing, but there was some minor graphical glitching here and there where the ball kind of got stuck a little bit or the camera kind of didn't maneuver the way I quite wanted, but for the most part the game ran pretty good. Momonga Pinball Adventures is available on the PS4 for $5.99. It does not feature a full trophy list or a platinum trophy, unfortunately. I did have some fun with the game for sure, and I enjoyed the soundtrack, though I wish there were a few more tracks to the game. It has an overall cute appearance to it, which is probably one of its biggest draws. I also have to say that even though the story is relatively short, going back and replaying the levels will add some more gameplay length, but after completing the story in less than an hour and the levels are the same just with those kind of extra little things thrown in, like limits, really wasn't all that enticing to replay the game over again, but for many of you, you may end up enjoying that part of the game. I think with some multiplayer, some extra levels, or maybe some extra just boards all around to go after a high score, the game would have been a much more enjoyable experience. But with everything said, I'm going to be giving the game a 5 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.